Our next speaker is Dr. Vidya, who has a similar presentation and with her own surgical style. She is a medical consultant, glaucoma services at the Arvind Eye Care Systems, Madurai, and she is going to show her pearl of wisdom. On to you, Dr. Vidya.
I'm not able to share the video. One second.
Can you try sharing again?
Ma'am, stop sharing. Then
Stop
you remember we tried it out, ma'am. Stop sharing, start sharing.
1 minute, 1 minute.
It will be minimized. Right now we're seeing your browser only, ma'am. Don't do that, ma'am. Don't do that, ma'am. You'll get disconnected.
I'll stop sharing.
Yes, ma'am. Stop sharing. Shall I play, ma'am?
Dr. Anand, would you show the video?
Yes, ma'am. I'll play.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
play, ma'am.
Yeah.
Just give me a minute, ma'am. I'll have to find yours, Dr. Vidya. S. Vidya?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dr. S. Vidya, Bleb Revision. Is that right, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yes. You stop sharing, Vidya?
Yeah. Okay.
Just give me a moment. We'll just.
Yeah. Good evening, all. Bleb revision in this young man post-trauma was very challenging. It was a deep-set eye, soft globe with an advanced disc damage. Hence, subtenance anesthesia had to be very meticulous so that the patient is made comfortable and surgery was carried out comfortably. Local infiltration over the superior conjunctival site was adequately given so that it balloons up the conjunctiva for easy dissection. As in long-standing cases, the conjunctival mobility can also be compromised where a revision will not succeed. So once the conjunctiva is ballooned up comfortably, we start dissecting. Of course, corneal traction was not possible in this young patient because of very low intraocular pressure, which was not recordable. The conjunctiva is now meticulously dissected from the avascular thinned out bleb, and profuse bleeding is always encountered. The conjunctiva is dissected out, sitting at the temporal site because there was not adequate exposure on the superior side. Once a comfortable hold of the conjunctiva is adequate, then shifting to the head end of the patient was easier to continue with the surgery. Bleb leaks are always a well-recognized complication in glaucoma by itself. They are challenging because of very threatening visual complications like hypertonous maculopathy, choroidals, and even endophthalmitis. And many late bleb leaks, conjunctival advancement such as is not preferred as it is very thin and avascular and has very limited healing potential. Hence, patch graft is always preferred, as in this young man. Now the conjunctiva is carefully dissected. You can see the healthy conjunctiva being dissected from the thinned out avascular bleb. All the areas are excised completely, leaving only a healthy conjunctival tissue. So advancement becomes very easy. All the fibrous tissue is very meticulously dissected out so that there is enough conjunctiva to close the graft. Now the avascular thin scleral tissue, which is seen here, is excised completely with the blade. The underlying defect, the full thickness defect, is also visible now. You can see the corneal folds also showing how low the IOP is. So I had to be really meticulous in doing the surgery because the patient had 660 vision with very advanced damage So the dissection had to be really meticulous and the surgery had to be really slow. The surface debridement is also done to remove all the excess fibrous tissue and make place for the graft. This is the full thickness defect that is seen very clearly here. The defect, the conjunctival advancement is made sure whether it can be covered fully once the graft is placed. Now the scleral graft is placed after adequately trimming it so that the closure becomes easier. We prefer a box suture, which gives a watertight, good indent and well opposed ends. Of course, corneal grafts were not available due to the pandemic. So we placed a scleral graft in this patient. And you can see the watertight suture that is being given by the box sutures. And anterior chamber is well formed. No folds seen in the cornea. AC is well formed. Adequate conjunctiva, which is closed with the 80 vicryl at both the limbal edges comfortably. Chamber again is well formed. This is a post-op day 1 picture of the patient. A well-formed AC, and his intraocular pressure also rise to 12 millimeters of mercury. He's doing well. Thank you.
Wonderful video demonstration with every tip so beautifully brought out, Dr. Vidya. I'm sure each of us have learned a lot today. So I would be taking questions with the panel based on these two, myself and Dr. Murli. Dr. Shushmita, what is the role of ASOCT in managing these thin-walled blebs in our decision taking?
I'm not sure whether, because our decision of doing surgery would depend upon the health of the bleb, the presence of infection and leak, and the IOP. So I'm not so sure that the ASOCT in at least this indication would dictate whether I want to revise or excise a bleb or not. But an unhealthy VP bleb is better excised because it's non-functional and replaced by healthy conjunctiva rather than wait for it to develop the complications that we are so scared of. So personally, I wouldn't use the ASOCT to guide my decision in this situation.
No, just for example, if the sclera is thin and deficient and you understand that better with ASOCT,
okay, in that way.
You would decide whether you would use conjunctiva or a graft.
Okay. So we would always have a graft ready on table, because no matter what the ASOCT told us, on table, many times you realize that the mitomycin has percolated down to the sclera, and the sclera is also really unhealthy. And sometimes you would have to dissect out a little bit of it. So the decision, I would say, of usually putting a scleral patch graft is on table, depending on thinning, depending on a uveal show, or so I'm not so sure that the ASOCT would be able to penetrate so much to tell you exactly whether or not you need to, it might show an intact sclera, but under the microscope, you might see that that intact sclera is actually having a uveal show. So I would enhance it with the graft. So in this particular, I would.
Dr. Devan, I wanted to ask you a question. You're there?
Yeah, I'm there, ma'am.
No, do you think these blebs would survive? And would you consider augmenting them with a FI if the need arose?
Which ones? The ones which we repair, or?
No, whether bleb would survive if a patch graft is not used. Of course, that was a situation which needed a patch graft, but comparing a conjunctival advancement for a bleb leak to a patch graft, which bleb do you think has a better chance of survival?
Oh, bleb survival, obviously, if you put a patch graft, the chances of filtration reduce. But we have to balance it out with the risk of infection and overall, hypotony and related complications. So obviously, ma'am, only a conjunctival repair, the bleb would be better, but putting a patch graft, the chances of filtration reduce. What I do often in these cases is we have a limited access in Delhi to iBank sclera if our own clinic is not iBank certified. So what I do in these cases is I use a partial thickness sclera of the neighboring healthy tissue, like a hinge flap door, and put it there. Yes, that is one option. But if I have to put a cadaver sclera, then I would put a punch there. So at the posterior lip, I use a Kelly's punch to make one punch, and that allows the filtration, and that answers your question, ma'am. That allows the overall better survival of the repaired bleb.
Murli, would you take the next question?
Yes, madam. So I have a question for Dr. Sushmita, madam, and Dr. Shanta and Dr. Craig. So my question is that Dr. Tanuj Dada had described epithelial transplanting bleb sparing conjunctival advancement, where he used trypan blue to stain the
Murli, you're not coming out clear. Murli, maybe could you switch off your video so that
so
we
he
can...
said that way the
Murli, we couldn't hear you. Basically, yeah, now could you ask a question, Murli?
yes, madam. So are you able to hear me, madam?
Yes.
Yeah, clear.
Dr. Tanuj Dada had described a technique where he used an epithelial transplantation. He used trypan blue to stain the epithelium of the thin wall bleb, peeled it off, and then undermined the surrounding conjunctiva, advanced it over, and sutured it down with 10-0 nylon. So this way, he said the bleb function can be preserved, and the leak also can be sealed. And he so the experience of the panel with this technique, in which conditions would you excise the bleb, and in which conditions would you advance the conjunctiva? And the other paper that he had published also was to put in Ologen when the sclera was thin or unhealthy, instead of putting a scleral patch graft. So the opinion of the panel on these two techniques, that is bleb sparing epithelial transplantation and the use of Ologen when the sclera is unhealthy.
Dr. Sushmita?
Yeah, so Talveer is here. I think she must be here when that was being done. But as far as I understood, what Tanuj did was the VP blebs or the thin blebs, or say the impending, the scary looking ones, are the ones which are amenable to just epithelial debridement. But if there was a Seedles positive, obviously that had to be. So that's the main thing. So rather than excise the whole thing, the thought was you just peel off the epithelium, use the stroma of the non-functional bleb, and advance conjunctiva over it. So I haven't personally done that. I think Talveer will have to answer how good they were with time, because when we publish a paper, we put a 3-month, 6-month thing, especially with a thesis, which does very well, but we have a lifetime of glaucoma. So maybe we'll know from her how they survived over time. Regarding Ologen, well, we are really constrained by cost. So if I can get a free cadaver sclera, I wouldn't think of asking the patient to get Ologen to cover a leak. I would be safer with the sclera patch.
Dr. Talveer?
Ma'am, actually, I would like to add a few things to this. First is that, sir, bleb sparing epithelial exchange, it has been described in adult as well as pediatric glaucomas by Professor Ramanjeet Sehota, and she has been doing this surgery for a very long time. And while I was working with Professor Dada and Professor Sehota, I've seen post-ops which would come even after 5 years, especially pediatric glaucomas, where the blebs become very thinned out, and there is bleb sweating, or there is pressure leakage from the blebs, and you fear that the blebs might get infected in the long run. So there, the conjunctiva is actually the devitalized epithelium is stained with trypan blue, and the surrounding conjunctiva is advanced over the bleb, and that works fairly well. And the removing the devitalized epithelium makes sure that the conjunctiva, which is sutured at the limbus, does not recess back. So that is what that makes sure of. If we put the conjunctiva over the epithelium, that is devitalized epithelium that is there, so conjunctival recession can happen more. And about Ologen, actually Ologen, Professor Dada has used it a lot while needling, also as well as in thinned out blebs, especially where there is not a full thickness scleral melt, but there is slight uveal show. So when there is slight uveal show, it acts like a good support to the sclera. There the tissues, they infiltrate and grow into the Ologen, and over time the scleral support becomes better. And when we put a scleral patch, ma'am, there is usually the IOP rises a lot, and we think about another trab, and we are giving the anti-glaucoma medications. So the minimal filtration that is happening through a devitalized sclera, the Ologen makes sure that that filtration keeps on happening, and the blebs, they can survive for some more period of time. When
Just
we have
a small
advanced,
caveat that the usual uveal scroll is very close to the limbus, what I've seen. It's
Yes,
usually
ma'am.
not further away. So what I've started doing with the scleral patch grafts actually is make that patch graft and put a releasable suture posteriorly. So that really helps. So I just take the suture out. So posteriorly there's no suture and there is flow, and yet the place of the uveal show is completely covered. So that has worked very well. So that's just a small tip that we've started
Yes.
doing now, using
Makes a
releasable
lot
sutures
of-
behind. Yeah.
That's very good, ma'am, because Ologen is sometimes so expensive and the patients cannot afford it.
Yes, I know.
Makes a lot of sense, and very good inputs from all of you doctors for 2 wonderful videos.